Hi, everybody. How's it going? My name is Keanu Benali. I am 29 years old. I am Navajo, and I do believe I am part Ute, so three quarters Navajo and a quarter Ute. The difference is I look younger. Some people think that I look like I'm 21 or 24, and I like to take that as a compliment. And it's um, it's interesting to see. Alrighty, so I wrote down a couple of topics because this is going to be by far my first video that I'm going to upload on YouTube. I do want to pursue my dream, and my dream is streaming. Alrighty, so we're going to talk about how I got into gaming, and that's my cat. His name's Sumo because he's big. One of these days, I'll show you guys. Alrighty, when I first got into gaming, I think the first time was I had a Game Boy, and then I had a PlayStation, and then I got into Xbox. I showed up one day to my grandparents' house, and my two uncles were there playing Halo Combat Evolved, and immediately I got hooked onto it. I was like that annoying kid that comes over and is like, "Oh, my mom said I can play that game." So, I was standing right there, right next to him, and was like, "Can I play? Like, I want to play. Can I play? Like, what are you guys playing?" And sure enough, they let me play. So I did grab some props. Give me a minute, real quick. These props help with memories that got me into it. So me being the kid growing up, I you know when the Xbox first came out, they handed me the controller. It was so freaking big that I couldn't play, but in order to play, that was the only thing that worked. And the controller looked like this, because it's the Duke controller, but this is the revamped version of it, and that's why I got it. I got this one because that's what reminded me of when I first started playing Halo and why I got into it. And I love that a lot. So I bought this and now I keep it. I bring it out every once in a while just to smell it because it smells really good. It's still brand new. But this is where it's at. This is how it started. Alrighty. So my second prop is when I got the Xbox later on down the road, my my dad, he was a really big John Carpenter fan, and he really liked that game or the movie The Thing. So when Xbox came out with The Thing, my mom at the time had a brother that used to work at this game store out in California, and I used to get shipments of games that were like stacked this high with just Xbox games, and he'd come by every 2 months and he'd hand me a stack like that. Brand new games I'd get for, and they were only a cent. I got them for a cent. I mean, at least that's what. When I tried to sell the game back when I got older, they were like, "You're only gonna get a cent out of this because this is how much it was sold for." And I never knew how I got it. But and that brought me to my second prop. The Thing. Currently, they're remaking it. I wanted to play this game for such a long time, but because when I was small, I was like, I just I had anger issues and I never really pursued it. But my dad did. In the Native American culture, we used to live in a hogan. This hogan wasn't just like any other mud hogan. This was like a brick hogan. One of my uncles built, but they gave it to my dad and my sisters and I. And the game was this. But the funny thing is, I didn't play it. My dad did. He would sit on my bed and he'd play the Xbox game for hours, almost like, I don't know. I remember one time when my cousin came over, I kind of dozed off and I woke up again. I think it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and my cousin was sitting there. He was just like watching my dad play the thing, and my dad stayed up playing it, and that was a good memory. That was a really good memory. So my third prop, fast forward to when Halo came out. Hang on, I gotta go get it real quick. When Halo Infinite came out, I was so big on it. I was so big on it. I was waiting for it, and I stayed up trying to get the Xbox One X or Xbox Series X that came out, the Halo edition, and I did. I got it. I wanted. I don't know if I'll be able to. Let's see. But I got it. I stayed up for quite a while and I got it. I was so excited. I was all cheesy. I told my girlfriend, I was like, I got it. I really got it. And I just felt so relieved. But that's part of the prop. But the prop that really means something to me was the Funko Pop. And this Funko Pop has the skin for Halo when it came out. So when I bought the Funko Pop, it came with a code, and I immediately applied that code on the Halo Infinite. And I was stylish on the game, and it just, I don't know, it blew my mind. So my girlfriend got into it. She got really big into Halo at the time, and she she'd always get upset and she'd start hitting the desk and raging, and it was fun. I mean, the times when we would stay up playing it and we'd play together in a match and just have a really good time. So those are my family. They divorced, my mom and my dad, back when I was in fifth grade. Um, it took a big toll on me, as it would for anybody else. And my mom, she cared. It sucked, you know. My dad, he cares, but he shows tough love, and that's hard. It took a lot to try and accept that, because I wanted that soft love that you would get from your mother. But given under the circumstances, sometimes you're raised differently. So going forward, um, I fell in love in high school. My relationship was rocky, just like any other high school relationship. But after that, I wanted to make it official. I wanted to keep going, but I didn't know that what I was doing was I never found myself. I never found myself. I never healed myself, and what that did was that caused a pretty big, I guess, gap in my relationship. And to really talk about this, it's hard, because sometimes you don't think that you screwed up, and sometimes people tell you it's not your fault, but in the end, when everything adds up, you start to realize you did screw up, and sometimes you can't do anything about it. Which brings me to today. um I'm not perfect. I'm not. I put everybody else before myself. But not only that, I ended up putting my family before my relationship. And then I put my relationship before myself. So a lot of the things that I wanted to do, like go to college, do this, do that, build a car, or, travel, like I never did, because I never found that interest. All I wanted to do was just like I had a one-track mind, and that was to get a house and live my life, and that was it. But I abused that, if that makes sense. I focused more on working. I was too tired to put in work into my relationship, and that was tough. And 13 years being together, it's hurt. It's a lot of hurt. Sometimes you want to think it's not your fault, but maybe sometimes it is. Not maybe, but at a time like this, it's hard. Not just a relationship, but family, loved ones, anything that you go through. So I want to say, therapy. Therapy helps. Um, if you need somebody to talk to, therapy. That's the one thing that will work. And my therapist says trust the process, and that sometimes, you got to be willing to compromise. So 13 years, and I thought it was 11, but don't argue with your girlfriend or your wife, because she knows better, and you're always wrong, so don't forget that. But back when I was in the military, I told myself, treat your girlfriend right. She deserves it. She's happy for you. And sometimes, love fades away. And in my case, I never found myself. I leaned in on my girlfriend, and it made her feel like she was thinking for the two of us, and that sucked. It sucks now more than ever because we have a house. But I had to accept it. I have to move on. And that's why I'm making this video, for comfort and closure, and to close out on this chapter. I'm ready to keep going forward with my life, and it's time for me to pursue that dream that I've been sitting on for quite a long time. So, when it comes to the future, what do I do now? With, everything that's going on, I'm lost. I'm trying to go back to school. I want to. I'm going to. Is that something that I want to pursue? Not really. But it's a backup. You gotta have plans. Streaming has been taken off for everybody. And it's not that I want a piece of that pie, but I feel like I had made that pie a long time ago. My mom asked me one time, what do you want to do in your life? And I said, I want to play games for the rest of my life. I said, I want to make a living off of that. And she told me, if you set your mind to it, you're going to get there. And she never doubted me. She never told me, oh, go be a lawyer or go be a doctor, or, life's not about video games. And that's why I appreciated her, because she supported me in that at a young age. And that's why I appreciate my ex-girlfriend. She supported me for that, and she still supports me, and she told me that. And that hurt. It hurts to love somebody and for them to still say, I want you to still pursue your dream. And and it's like, I want you there with me, but I can't, because I have to respect. I had to be willing to respect that boundary and let her do her own thing. So, what the future's gonna hold, I don't know. But give me a chance. I want to actually make something of myself. I know I will, regardless. I'm not here for the money. I'm here to have a good time. because that's all I've ever wanted. All I've ever wanted to do growing up was to have a good time out of all these hard times that I've put myself through. And now, being 29 years old and I'm going to be 30 next year, like, it's time for me to actually start taking care of myself, start pushing myself beyond the limits of what thought was on, what I thought is impossible for myself. But I've been through a lot, and not, I've been through a lot mentally, and I've been through a lot physically. But that does not mean that I'm stronger than anybody. A lot of people tell me I have a good heart, I have a good head on my shoulders, but inside I'm drowning. So, people who are suffering from trauma or need something to talk about, reach out. Therapy does help. And not only that, but your family is there, and they'll tell you that they support you. Your friends will, your girlfriend, your wife. So think about it and don't be embarrassed of it. I know I was, until I actually started going to therapy, and now I'm embracing it because I'm trying to move forward. Thank you, and I hope that you guys have a good day, and we'll see where we go from here. Bye.